For me, success is definitely personal. I want to see what I'm capable of doing. There's a lot of things I have yet to accomplish. One of the things about running is we're never fully satisfied. We accomplish one goal and we move right on to the next one because we see what's possible. That's what I want to do. I want to see what's possible. Hey, I'm so excited tonight because I was talking with my mother-in-law just a few days ago, and she was telling me, first of all, they retired, both my in-laws, and so they're retired and they're quarantined and they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do. And so she said that they have been practicing a walk-run approach, and that her goal is to eventually build up to doing a 5K. And this is so cool to me because I've never viewed my in-laws as people who run, because they never have the entire time I've known them, coming up on 11 years. And it's so neat to me that she saw this as something that would be really cool, really fun, and something to do with her time now that she is retired and they're at home. And so as I was learning about everything that she was doing, I was providing some insight, and it got me thinking how when I was coming back after my pregnancy, I did a walk-run approach to rebuild my fitness the first month. And I've done this with a couple of different injuries as well. And I think it's kind of like an underrated element to training because it, one, builds confidence, it's building fitness, and it's building durability. So you kind of have all these really unique things that are helping you grow and build and become a runner again, or become a runner for the first time. And so if you're preparing for a 5K, for example, this is a great approach to start with. And the first thing is those three components are super important and super critical to the success of your training and of your goals. And then the second thing is making sure that you stop and walk before you have to. And this is one thing that I have learned to structure into the training programs that I develop for those who are using a walk-run approach, because if you run until you're so fatigued you have to walk, you're not gaining confidence. You're kind of hating life. But if you schedule and structure your walk breaks, then you most likely are going to stop before you hit that period of intense fatigue. And that's going to help you build that confidence, build the fitness, and be able to kind of grow from the start to the finish of your program. So a couple of months ago, I wrote a start running program that was a walk-run approach for 1 month, where you run every other day for 30 days. And one of my neighbors actually did this, and I loved it because I was able to be involved and kind of ask her, how are things going? Are you enjoying it? What are you learning? What are you liking? What are you not liking? And by the end of it, she was so thrilled with herself and how far she had come over that month. So here's how it goes. You start on day 1 and you run 10 times, run 1 minute, walk 1 minute. So you're running a minute, walking a minute, doing that 10 times. And then the next day you take an off day. And then the day after that, you run 2 minutes at a time, walk a minute, 2 minutes at a time, walk a minute. And so you slowly add in more and more running and less walking. And by the end of a month, she ran an hour completely without walking. And it sounds like a lot. It sounds like a huge jump. But because each day you're slowly building up to this, by 30 days, she was fit enough and strong enough and ready to handle the distance of running an entire hour. And I talk about this because we're looking at this really steady progression, because that steady progression is what's going to build those three key components we're looking for: the fitness, the durability, and the confidence. And so that steady progression of every other day increasing your run amount a little bit while keeping the walk amount the same is going to really allow for all three of those elements to happen and for you to see them. And so there's a couple different components to this that I think is important to touch on. First off is don't force pace. It is not at all about how fast you are running. It is about getting in the time that you are supposed to be running. And that time can be as slow as it possibly needs to be so that you can run for that entire duration. So for that first day, when you're running 1 minute and walking 1 minute, you can run as slow as you need to for that 1 minute. And then you're gonna take your rest day. And then the next day when you're running 2 minutes, that can be as slow as it needs to be. And then you walk a minute and recover. And then you take a rest day. And then the next day you run 3 minutes and then you walk a minute. And so it's just slowly building as you go. And so don't force pace. Don't overthink it. That's one of the worst things you can do when you're first starting out. The first 30 days of running is always hard for me. I've been doing this since 8th grade, so 16 years of running, and multiple times throughout the year, I take several weeks off where I'm taking a downtime, I'm resetting my body, and then I'm working back into fitness. And obviously, having a baby, I took 6 months off. I've had injuries where I've taken 3, 4, 5 months off. And so when I'm in this rebuilding phase, it's never easy. It's always hard. And don't get down about that. It's all about the consistency factor. And those rest days allow your body to rest, recover, rebuild so that you're ready to go for the next run day. And so this is what I did when I came back from my pregnancy. And I think it really set me up for success in those first few months where I had a lot of fun running. And it was such a joy to be out there on the trail doing what I love. But it's because I didn't force it and I didn't rush it and I didn't push the pace and I wasn't focused on pace. I was just running for time. And so if you set up your first month of training based off of time with these kind of intervals of run walk, which you're slowly building up over the course of the month, you're providing your body enough rest days so that you can recover and be ready to go for the next run day, then you're able to be best prepared and feel better for those run days. And that's going to boost that confidence. That is so critical and so important. And you're also developing a routine. So sticking to that routine, maintaining that consistency of every other day of fitness work and fitness building, and establishing a special time each day that you allot for your run so that you are able to get into that habit. And typically it takes about 4 weeks to develop a habit. So this first month is so critical because after that, everything gets so much easier with the fitness, with the confidence, and with that routine and habit that you've created. So the last thing I want to touch on is the ability to, when you're using time, especially like this, we're breaking down your run. So that first day, it's a 20-minute run essentially, but because every minute you are either running or walking or running or walking, it's going to go by so much faster because it's broken down minute by minute for that 20-minute stretch. And so this is something that you can take and implement and utilize throughout an entire run program or walk run program, is to have things split up into these manageable segments and these little goals that you are constantly focusing your mind on. And I do this to this day where I'm on a long run or a hard tempo, or I'm at the track and I'm breaking these workouts and these runs down into small, manageable parts. And so today I did 12 by 400 on the track, and I split it up into 3 sets of 4. And that's how I mentally approached the workout. And then it felt a little bit more manageable because I was only counting to 4, and then I was starting over, and then I was counting to 4, and I was starting over. And so as you're going through a walk run program and you're kind of building up that distance as you're working towards doing your first 5K or your first 5K in a long time, and you're splitting it up so that you're focused on one little part at a time. And mentally that makes it so much easier because you have these small goals. It's kind of like if you stand at the starting line of a marathon. If you think that you have 26.2 miles to go, it's not going to go well. Like, that is so overwhelming. But if you break it down into small, manageable parts, you're kind of able to chip away throughout the whole thing, and you're not overthinking it all. So certainly listen to your body, but stick to that consistency factor of every other day, and make sure that you're breaking it down into something that feels manageable for you. So I hope that you were able to kind of figure out how perhaps you can implement some of these into your approach to building a 5K program. You can check out my suggestion of these first 30 days of walk run training on my blog at neelyruns.com. And please feel free to subscribe, like this video, comment. I love to hear your feedback. If you have any questions, I can be found on Instagram at Neely S. Gracie. So I really look forward to hearing from you and helping you through your attempt at your first 5K or your first 5K in a long time. So give this a try, and I can't wait to hear about it. So cheers, you got this. Let's do confidence, consistency, and conquer that 5K. Go get it.